Hey guys, welcome to Tech Vitals. Today we are going to learn about if statement in Python. If statement simply checks the condition, and if the condition is true, then it will execute the code that is inside the if statement. So let's see the example. So let's say num1 equals 2 and num2 equals 4. So let's try to print the highest number using the if statement. So we have to write if space num1 is greater than num2, then we will give colon, and in Python we use indentation. So as you can see, we are using this colon that indicates Python that anything that we are going to write after this will be relevant to this if condition. So to let Python know what code are relevant to this if condition, we have to give this space of one tab. So as you can see, our cursor is starting at this point, so we have some gap, that is the gap of one tab. So if we start typing from here, then it's going to be invalid, because after this colon, the next line should always begin after one tab. So here now we can type the highest number is, let's use comma, num1, because we are checking the condition if num1 is greater than num2. And then to exit from this if condition, we can go back to the beginning cursor position. So else print the highest number is num2. So here num1 has the value of 2 and num2 has the value of 4. So here we are checking the if condition if num1 is greater than num2. So num1 is 2 and num2 is 4. So num1 is not greater than num2. So this condition is invalid. So this code will never run, because this code will only run if this if condition is valid. So since this if condition is not valid, it will exit from this if condition and it will go to the next line where it find else. So if this condition is not valid, then else we have another statement. So if num1 is not greater than num2, then that means num2 should be greater than num1. So if we try to run this code, then as you can see, the highest number is 4 and it came from this line because if condition is not valid. But let's say if we change this greater than into less than and change this highest into smallest. Now if num1 is less than num2, so yes, num1 is less than num2 because 2 is less than 4. So now it will go inside this if condition and execute whatever code that is inside this if condition. So now if we run this, then the smallest number is 2. Okay, so let's add one more number, num3 equals 6. So now here we have to compare 3 numbers instead of 2. So what we can do is we can use this AND operator. So if num1 is less than num2 and num1 is also less than num3, then the smallest number should be num1. Now instead of else, we have to use else if, but in Python we don't use else if, we use elif, which is the same thing as the else if. So elif num2 is less than num1 and num2 is also less than num3, then the smallest number will be num2. Else, so if num1 is not smallest number and if num2 is also not smallest number, then automatically num3 should be the smallest number. So else the smallest number is num3. So using this if, elif and else condition, we are going to print the smallest number among these three numbers. So at the first line, we are checking if num1 is less than num2. So is 2 is less than 4? Yes. So this condition is passed. But since we are using AND, this another condition should also pass in order to run this statement that is inside if condition. Okay, so now let's check this condition. If num1 is less than num3, so is 2 less than 6? Yes. So this condition has also passed. So now we will run this code. So the smallest number is num1, that is 2, and that's what we get in the console. And since this condition is true, the Python will not check the remaining condition. But let's say we replace num2 with num1. Okay, now if you see the code, so if num2 is less than num1, so is 4 less than 2? No. So this if condition has been invalid, so it will not go inside this statement. So now it will jump to the next line, and here we are comparing if num1 is less than num2, so is 2 is less than 4? Yes, this condition has been passed. And now let's check this condition. If num1 is less than num3, so is 2 less than 6? Yes. So both condition has been passed. So now we will run this code, and that's how we can get the smallest number. And let's say instead of using AND, if we use OR, now among these two conditions, this one and this one, if one of the condition is passed, then it will go inside this if statement. So when we use AND, this both condition has to be passed to run this if statement. But when we use OR, either this condition or this condition has to be passed to get inside this statement. So that's the difference between AND and OR. So it depends on different test cases whether we have to use AND or OR. But that's how we use if statement in Python. And that's gonna do it for this video. I'll see you soon with the next video. Till then, keep learning. Goodbye.